to another episode of the Business is Pleasure podcast with myself, Jonelle, and of course, my sweet lady, Colette. And this week, we want to say thank you guys for constantly tuning in, whether it's your first time watching our podcast, or maybe it's your last time because you can't stand us. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
And so, Colette, like we always start off every week, how was your week?
My week was pretty good. It was pretty busy. It was kind of packed with our events that we had this past weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of like the main part of my week, to be honest. I think for the most part, in reference to some of the tasks that I had put down from last week to complete, I did finish my main goal, which was to focus on our website.
Mm-hmm.
And that's done.
And it's kind of crazy because if you guys go back and listen to maybe like 5 episodes ago, you'll notice how much we're procrastinating on actually getting the website finished. And it literally took us about 45 minutes of sitting down, breaking the website down, and then another 10 minutes of sending the email. And we have this amazing web developer that we work with, and he literally got everything completed in what, like 2 hours?
Yeah, like 2 hours.
Max, right? So it kind of goes to show is that like we have the capabilities to always get things done and be so efficient, but like again, like sometimes we hold the company back by just procrastinating so much, you know?
Yeah.
And that's one thing that we try to talk about was like how can we essentially just be more efficient, because we know the framework that we need to get these things completed, but it's like okay, like let's actually take the steps to get them done now, right?
And I feel like we were kind of procrastinating too because like it's not something that like we necessarily know how to do. So we were kind of just like putting it off. It's kind of like that thing that you're not really sure of how to start or not really sure of how to do, so you just kind of keep like putting it to the side. But like I realized during this whole like website process that like that saying like, you know, eat the biggest frog first is really true.
No, 100%.
Like you just need to get it out of the way, stop thinking about it, and move on to something else. Like,
yeah, because I think also we were also just focused on like, well, this has to be perfect. If it doesn't work out well, and it's like we kind of have to trust in our process that like the whole trial and error, that's what's been working for us. So let's say it doesn't work out the first week and the website isn't ideal, we'll fix it.
Like our website's gone through so many different transformations.
So many different transformations. And I think right now I'm actually the happiest with the website. One, because the way it actually looks and just the whole template that we've decided to use, but also because we've been able to figure out how we want to utilize the website, right? More so as a landing page, more so to bring our audience there, to provide educational materials like our podcasts, our articles, and things like that, right? So those things alone I really enjoy.
And another thing, if you're looking for like, you know, someone to build a website for you, it's really, really important to do your research, because we went through a lot of developers that claimed they could do certain things, and then when it came down to it, they couldn't. Weren't the most upfront about things. So it is like a long process. Sometimes it can be a little bit annoying and strenuous, but just be patient, take your time, try to do as much research as possible so you know what the right questions are to ask. When we first started doing this, we didn't really know what were the right questions to ask.
Yeah, or even what we wanted out of the developer.
Or even what was like realistically possible, you know?
100%.
So it just takes time. Like obviously don't beat yourself up about it, but just try to be as aware as you can.
No, 100%. And to bring it back, right, in terms of our show that we had, so this past weekend we actually went to the Hamilton Vintage Clothing Show, and it's really similar to the Ottawa Vintage Clothing Show and the Toronto Vintage Clothing Show that we've talked about before. Similar demographics, similar types of clothing and everything. Great event. So if you ever get a chance to go, check out the Hamilton Vintage Clothing Show. The one downside of it was that in Toronto, we actually experienced one of the worst freezing rainstorms ever to hit the country.
There was 2,500 accidents.
2,500 accidents.
2 days.
Over 2 days, okay? And one way or another, we still found a way to be engaging, meet new people, and most importantly, still make a bunch of sales. So we came out on top. It wasn't the best event in terms of sales for us.
Just because of the weather.
Exactly, just because of the weather, right? It was nothing to do with their promotions or their marketing and everything.
Yeah.
And it really goes to show that like we still remained optimistic as much as possible and worked with what we had. And I think that's one of the major things that any new business or like anyone really has to focus on is like just being adaptable in whatever situation that's
Yeah.
put in front of you, you know?
I think we did a really good job at doing that. The one thing I will say as like a little bit of a negative from the event, I think we both kind of need to work on like making sure that like we're both okay for the event, you know, like just putting our best foot forward. So that includes like, you know, like getting a good night's sleep before the event, making sure that we have like enough.
She was hangry again, guys. Hangry color
So
came
are
out.
you. So are you.
Yeah, I was a little grouchy. Yeah, I'll say.
Making sure that we have enough like food, enough water, all of that stuff. Just making sure that we're properly equipped and properly prepared. Because at the end of the day, we're both only human, and like if we're exhausted, tired, annoyed because we're hungry, thirsty, it's gonna be like harder for us to engage with people. It's gonna be hard for us to just like interact with each other in like a cordial manner because like we're just generally annoyed.
No, 100%,
You know?
right?
So I think that's like something that we need to work on. Like every single event, we say, "Yeah, we're gonna make chicken wraps."
All we do is lie. We're like the biggest liars when it comes to preparing for like food for events, because we're like, yeah, we're gonna make chicken wraps, we're gonna make the salad, so we don't have to like spend extra money or have extra costs. And every single time, we just ball out on some KFC or something.
Yeah. At this event, we ordered a pizza to the place.
But it was so good though.
It was really good.
Yeah.
Shout out to Double Double. Want to send us some free chicken wings?
Yeah, please. Yeah. So also to go back to the idea of like any new business, I think one thing that like we initially didn't focus on our business was focusing on sales first, because in the reality, like one of the major things about any business, it's about getting money. If you're not able to find different ways to bring money back into the business, it's really hard for your business to grow, really hard for you to really build to the next level that you would really like it to go to and everything, you know?
Yeah.
And I think when we first started our business, that was one of our major downfalls. We were more so focused on like the community aspect, which is really nice because we both come from like really altruistic backgrounds.
But nice doesn't make you money.
Yeah, and that's the reality of it, right? You know what I mean?
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
And we still do all of those community initiatives,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, they're not our main focus. But I think when we did first start our business, like you said, that was kind of like our forefront, because it was kind of like a motivating factor to start the business,
Yeah.
which is fine. But in terms of like the longevity and it building into what we want to build it to, we can't just focus on giving stuff away for free.
And the reality behind it as well is that like if you don't have sales, you can't take care of your business, then you can't give back to the people that you'd love to, right?
Exactly.
So it's really this cycle that we kind of really have to understand, and we have got to understand a bit more. It's like, hey, let's focus on the business, and then we can implement all those other nonprofit or quote unquote charitable aspects that would help other people, you know?
It's like it's like that flying, you know, like that like video that they always show when you're on a flight. I was like, in the moment of distress, or if the like cabin loses air pressure, make sure you put on your mask before you put on the mask of your mother or your friend or your child. So it's just like the saying's true. Like you need to help yourself before you can help someone else. And like at the end of the day, I think both of our kind of like long-term goals are generally to help other people in like one way or another. But like if we're not equipped to help, then we can't really do much
like
helping.
you know,
so
it's like at that point then we're just hurting two people. We're hurting ourselves and the people that we could potentially help in the long run. And also, speaking on sales, one thing I think that's really important is having integrity within the business, you know what I mean? Ensuring that when a customer asks or a client asks for something, we're honest. We have like somewhat of like a fiduciary duty to ensure that like we're honest, our integrity's there, and like so they can like really trust us and really like know that, hey, like these guys said they're gonna do something, I know that I have nothing to worry about and everything, you know?
And at the end of the day, like all of the stuff that, well, not all of the stuff, but a lot of our product is vintage. Obviously we have new stuff, but like the majority of our stuff is vintage. So that article of clothing has gone through its own wear and tear. It's gone through its own kind of like story, you know?
Yo, 100%.
And like we do our part to ensure like a certain system of like quality control and make sure that it's adhering to certain standards. But sometimes like we miss things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I think like something that I'm really like prideful in is that, like, say if we're at an event or like whatever the case may be and someone's buying something, if I notice something in the process of them buying it, I'm gonna be like, oh hey, like, just so you know, like, this is here.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, or like whatever, this pin, this button's missing, whatever the case may be, because like I don't want them to, you know, purchase something thinking that it's great and then go home and realize, oh my gosh, like there's a big stain on this, or oh
and it's
gosh,
kind of unfair too, right? Because if we're like in the possession of some type of information, we're taking their ability to make a decision for themselves now, right?
Exactly.
If there's like a huge stain on it and they don't see it, but we do, and we're like, yeah, like whatever. It's only we'll get the extra $10. We won't say anything.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we're gonna do that for $10, but then lose like the reputation of having a good business, and plus then a potential return customer.
Yeah.
It's like, and I think that's what a lot of business really have to focus on, is not necessarily always making the next dollar, but always ensuring that your integrity is more important than the money aspect, you know? Because like your reputation takes forever to build. It literally takes one day to be diminished.
At the end of the day, we know you can't speak on my name.
You can't chat my name.
You can't chat my name.
No. That's like what's so important, you know? And it's kind of crazy because like I remember like my mom would always be telling me these things. It's like, you know, like the things like when you're outside, you're representative of the home. I guess when you're, and I think when you're young, you forget those things. Yeah. And it's like when we're at events, when we're online, when we're talking to different vendors, when we're talking to different clients, we represent Clarendon Co.
Yeah.
And we kind of really have to hold that true, because especially now with the internet age, we're always 24/7 accessible, you know? It's not like before where it's like, okay, yeah, people saw you in an event, so after that, it's nothing. You know what I mean?
They can always contact us. They can always reach us by any means.
Oh, and not even also contact us and reach us. They can always watch us. Because all the content that's always going to be there as well too, right?
Yeah.
It's not to say that like, you know, we have to be like these fake people as part of this like facade, but it's like be like conscious of the things that we're doing.
And at the end of the day, like integrity for us, I would say like it's not fake and it's not a facade, because I can honestly say that our integrity transfers into every aspect of our life.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that's just something that's, like, true to us. Like, I don't care if you ask me to sweep the floor, I'm going to sweep it well. Like,
you do it okay. Like, you're okay. You're okay at sweeping the floor.
You're
okay
you just think you're the best sweeper because you're Jamaican.
I have a degree in sweeping floors, babe.
Okay.
I'm sick.
Okay.
I'm sick. Are you crazy?
Okay, maybe you should sweep more often then.
Okay, so, speaking of sweeping, let's talk about how we can sweep some expenses under the floor and finding this brand new way to save money. So Colette knows one of my favorite things is not always sales and making money, but it's really finding ways to cut costs, guys.
You're so excited right now.
Guys, okay, so we have a friend that we work with, and he always gives like little tidbits, little ideas of like how to like, you know, how to just like help our business run a bit better and everything. So he told me about this thing called Chit Chat Express, guys. CHIT Express. If you are a small business, you do a lot of shipping, please Google them right away. So when we initially started our business, we had this account that we would do for businesses, a business account, and that would take like $50 a month. And then we also had a Hootsuite, so that would take another $50 a month. So we're losing the $50 right off the bat. So we got rid of those, and then we thought about it the next year. What are other ways that we can like cut costs and then of course have better margins? And one thing that we started to realize was that like shipping sometimes really kills us, you know?
Yeah, like
especially
Canada Post is, I don't know what
them
you
thief.
guys are doing over
Thief.
there, but you guys are charging so much. Like to ship something to say New York with tracking, because we always have to do tracking. To ship something to New York is like $16, $17. It went up. It used to be like $13, $14. So I don't know how it goes up like $3 in the course of like a couple months. And then, and mind you, that's with our business like venture cards. We save like, I don't know, 20 cents, but still it's nothing. And then to ship to somewhere like Germany, for example, or anywhere like in the UK or like internationally, without tracking, it's like $60.
Easily. And that's one of the hardest parts about being in competition with business. Then that limits where we can sell, and that's essentially not making us competitive within that realm. But with Chit Chat Express now.
Wait, you cut me off. I just want to say one point. It also limits It's okay. It also limits like the quality of like a product that we can give to people, right? So say if we're selling internationally, it's hard for us to give people a quality product at a fair price because we have to take shipping into account as well. So if I have a jacket on Grailed for $60, but it's ending up going to Germany, it's gonna cost me pretty much the total cost of what I'm selling it for in order to ship it out. So obviously I can't put it on Grailed for $60. I need to put it on Grailed for like $80 or $90 when realistically all I really want to sell it for is $60.
And even within saying that, that goes against our mandate of having at least moderate prices,
Exactly.
so everyone can enjoy good quality clothing.
Exactly.
But with Chit Chat Express, we literally started using this the other day, okay? So we had 2 shipments. One was going to Germany and one was going to New York. And like Colette said, it's usually about $16 to New York and about $50 to Germany with tracking. Okay.
No, 50 without tracking.
Sorry, 50 without tracking. Okay, so I go to Chit Chat now. I'm like, okay, like honestly, if we can like just pay $50 in total for everything, that wouldn't be too bad, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I go there now, press little buttons, get my little slipping tab. To ship to New York is $5 Canadian. I'm confused now. I'm like, okay, this doesn't make no sense. This has to be like some type of illegal scam or something. So I'm like, okay, let me see how much it's gonna be to ship to Germany. $21. In total, babe, we ended up paying $27 after taxes to ship to Germany with tracking and to New York with tracking. It literally saved 60% tracking costs.
Yeah.
Which is incredible.
My mind is actually blown. But I also feel like I've been getting ripped off for a really long time, though.
Yeah. But to make up for it, right?
You know, yeah. Like it's like when you go into a store and you buy something on Christmas, like Eve or something, and then you go back on Boxing Day and it's 75% off when you pay. You know what I mean? It's like you kind of want a refund, but I don't know. But overall, it's a really good thing for a business and really like a lot of really good savings. So
yeah, and I think it's good too, right? And I think like if you're running a small business, always try to find ways not to necessarily make more money, but to cut costs. Because one of the best ways to actually make more money in the long term is to save money. And to find Chit Chat is definitely gonna be used. We're not gonna use it all the time, just because like it's about a 20-minute drive away from us.
Yeah.
So in terms of gas costs, it doesn't really make sense. But when it comes to like big shipments to international places, then 100%. That's the first place that we're gonna go. 100%. Also, within saying that, I think one of the things that we love to do is always try to find new goals and to speak things into existence. I remember when we initially started the business, we had an idea like, hey, we want to make X amount per week. And I remember scratching my head being like, it's crazy, like we're not making that much money. Like we're good at this, but we're not that good at this yet. And it's crazy because like putting a goal out there, changing our mindset, and actually implementing a plan that we actually work towards us made us surpass that goal.
yeah.
And I think that's always important. We always kind of have to set goals that are somewhat out of reach. So then the next goal that we have is even that much easier to get to, you know?
Exactly. I was actually watching, John, was watching basketball today, and I was watching a, like, NBA, like, promo commercial.
Oh my gosh.
For, what?
Go ahead.
For Steph Curry.
I can't believe you.
And there was this saying, honestly, great commercial. Fantastic commercial.
Oscar worthy.
I love a good commercial, not gonna lie. There was this, like, amazing saying at the end of the commercial, and, like, it made me cry. Like, not even like...
A commercial, guys. We're not talking about Forrest Gump or some type of sad romantic movie. A commercial.
It was just
a basketball commercial.
It was just so beautiful, and, like, not even a tear. Like I had to wipe my eyes, and if John wasn't here, I probably would have still been crying.
I'm like, are you okay?
Yeah.
I'm worried because I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I do now? Like, I was actually worried. I'm here thinking I messed up or something.
I was actually like, so basically what it says is unleash your mind and the body will follow. So it's like, right? So it's like, take away all like the doubts and like the negativity and like the second guessing that you have going on in your head. So set those goals, you know, set those goals that maybe you think like, maybe that's a little bit out of my reach. Maybe I can't obtain that right now, but your body will create that and your body will find a way to make it happen.
Yeah, and it's crazy. And I think like in essence, what it's essentially saying is try.
Yeah.
Try.
And trust in yourself. Like trust in yourself that like, okay, I may not know what everything that I need to know right now, but I'm gonna learn it. And you know, building a business or building whatever you want to do in life, it's a long process.
Yeah.
You know, it's not something that like you figure out overnight. You don't know all the answers right away. It's something that you learn a little bit by little bit, each and every day, each and every week, each and every month. So it's just something you have to be patient with and trust in yourself and in your process that like it's gonna work out and you're gonna get it done.
No, 100%, man. And it's just really interesting is because like even though you say that, like, believe in your mind, and like again that's transferable into so many different things, right? From the fact that like when we were in college and university, like we had to believe in our process, in our relationship, having to better understand like, okay, what's the process that works for us and everything, you know? So like really understanding the process that works for you is extremely important.
It is.
Accompanied by the mindset, accompanied by actually implementing those things,
Yeah.
so you can become successful in the long term. Because I think it's really important to have a good mindset, but if you're not implementing those things, like, you
It's
know,
hard.
you could be like overweight and be like, man, I'm gonna work out tomorrow. And you never work out tomorrow, you know? It's like your mindset's right there, but like
not
if you're
putting the action behind it.
exactly, you know, so it's a combination of the two. But of course, it does start with the mindset, right?
Yeah, and I think like just having clear goals helps you know and like figure out what it is exactly that you're working towards. Because when you don't have clear goals, it's easy to be like confused and like sidetracked. You know, because like everybody's doing something different. Everyone has like different goals and different aspirations. But when you're not clear and concise about what it is that you want to do, regardless of what anybody else is doing, it's easy to like veer off another path and be like, oh, like I saw this person doing this and they're making good money, let me try that. Or I saw this person doing this and it's working out for them, let me see if that works out for me. You really have to figure out what it is that you want to do, what it is that you want to be successful in, and focus on that. And once you have that goal and once you have that mindset, everything else just falls into place.
No, that's literally what it is. That's part of it, of course. Like, you know, it's not the whole picture, but
Obviously,
that's the most important part.
And obviously it's easier said than done,
Yeah.
because even as I'm talking about this, I'm telling it to myself as well.
Yeah, of course, right?
But at the same time, I just think it's something that's important to just keep in mind.
No, definitely. And one thing that we've really been able to keep in mind was the fact that how we wanted to separate the clothing that we had from items that we'd bring to shows to items that we'd actually only sell online. I think at first it was like a really good idea to do that, but then that would force us to actually buy so much more clothing all at one time, and then that would limit us the ability that would limit our distribution channels, because then we'd only have items that we'd sell online, only have items that we would sell at shows, instead of using two of those streams, right? And I think you made a really good point in saying like, hey, like, why don't we leave the items that are already online at home and then just bring everything else? So what that does now, it makes it like just more efficient and just more easier for us to like keep a catalog of what's sold and what should be taken to shows and everything too, right?
Yeah, no, it was great, because usually when we would come home from events, we'd have to be like, okay, let's see what's sold, and go to all the apps, take off everything from every single app, and then on our apps we go from having like 60 items to like 20 items, you know what I mean?
And then that messes up our SEO, so people aren't being able to search our items as much as we'd like. Then it also messes up our sales, because people aren't searching for us as much,
Yeah.
which cuts down the likelihood that they're going to purchase things.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's also just a huge waste of time.
Yeah. It's not a waste of time, but it's more time added on.
Yeah, it's way more time added on.
You know
like,
what I
it's
mean?
just, yeah. So, yeah, that whole process was a really good idea. I'm really happy that we implemented that.
Yeah, me too, man. And it's crazy too. And I think like we should always be going back to things, trying to see like, hey, like what else can we do?
One thing
change.
in reference to you saying that, going back to things, I do think that our like one task for like this week going into next should be revisiting our business plan.
Yes. And again, that's one thing we've been talking about. But again, we've been procrastinating on it. You know, I think it's good. Procrastination can be good and can be helpful if used as a tool.
Yeah.
But I don't think we've been using it as a tool right now.
No,
We've literally just been throwing it to the side and be like, oh, it'll figure itself out.
We've been like, oh, we mentioned it in the podcast.
Yeah, like, you know, like, well, yeah, it'll figure itself out.
Yeah, no, we need to get back on that.
No, 100%. Because when we initially started the whole business, we had like a 5-year plan, and some things that we wanted done within the first year didn't get done, but some things that we wanted done within the 5th year got done. And now that like we haven't looked at the business plan in maybe like a long time. There's
been a while.
there's so many things that we can either take out and now also add in as well.
And
to
like there's so many new things that we've implemented over the past, like even like past 6 months, that like I think we should definitely write down in our business plan, so it would allow us to like fully expand it, you know, because I think when you put something on paper and you bring in to write it down, that allows you to kind of like flesh out all like the smaller components and the larger components, and then all like the connecting components to figure out like where can you actually go with this new avenue or this new idea. And we have implemented a lot of not a lot of new avenues, but a few new avenues that like I think they need to be further assessed to see where else they can take us.
No, and that's what the most important thing is too, right? Just properly like laying down the framework, seeing what was working, what's not working, and just staying consistent with the things that do work, getting rid of the stuff that doesn't work, and so forth.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's a lot of things that we can like, kick out.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, perfect. So is there anything else that you want to add before we wrap this up?
No, I think that's everything. That'll just be along with the stuff from last week, revisiting the business plan will be something that we look into as well.
Okay, perfect. All right, guys, and that's all we have for this week. Thank you so much for joining us once again. Please like and share so we know that you care. Please. And until next time, peace.